Let's update our mod to the latest version of Minecraft, talk about different dependencies and how we can find the versions for them and when to use them in our project. Hello everyone, welcome to the Mentor Code Lab. When Minecraft updates, Fabric and different API libraries that you may use inside your project will be updated. And every now and then you need to update your Gradle to mimic these updates. Today we want to update to 1.20.6, the latest version of Minecraft. The easiest way to find the yarn mapping, fabric, and loader versions is just to come to the template generator, create a temporary template, download it, extract it somewhere in the hard drive, for example, your desktop, and you will see this. Here, Gradle.properties is the thing that you want to take a look into. And this is Gradle.properties. Now, if you take a look, we have Minecraft version, yarn mapping, loader, and fabric version. These are the important parts that we want. So I will move it to the second monitor and use the values there. So Minecraft version became 20.6. The yarn mapping is now 20.6 plus build.1. Loader version is 15.11 and fabric version became 98.0 plus 1.20.6. So far so good. Now my mod version is using the Minecraft version, so you should update it there. Up until now, if you are not using any dependencies, you are golden. You can just refresh your build.gradle and it will download some things and the project is ready to be used. However, if you are using dependencies to different libraries, it's really important to make note that either the library is updated to the latest version or it is still being available for the Minecraft version. For example, fluid utils is a piece of code that I wrote myself. And it is being used to transfer fluids between a container and a slot that keeps a bucket or a full bucket there. Stuff like that. And it's just a utility code. So unless something drastically changed inside Fabric for handling liquid transfer, it is usable by different versions of Minecraft. That is why I didn't update mine to the latest version. Of course, I could just change the last digit, but long story short, although Minecraft is updated, this piece of code is still being used and usable by your mod for 20.6, 20.7, I don't know, as long as the fluid transfer code inside Fabric is not touched. libgui is being used to draw advanced GUI stuff inside your block entities. We will come back to block entities later, but if you want to draw stuff inside machine, for example, when you open the interface of the machine, you can do it by vanilla way, or libgui is making it more usable, more friendly for programmers to draw different things. Now, how can I find libgui? Of course, you can go to the GitHub, and by the way, all these links will be provided in the video description, so you can find them there. But if we go into libgui GitHub and scroll down, we see this, Maven blah. Most of the API libraries provide the Minecraft version at the end. So we see that it's 1.20.6. Okay, it's updated. Bingo. So 10.0.0. We need to change it. 10.0.0.26. Now, keep in mind, in cases like libgui or energy core or I don't know, PAL, REI especially, and some others, architecture for sure, if they are not updated, most of the time you will get errors by using them. So it's really critical to make sure that the library is updated to the version of Minecraft you want to update to. If it's not updated, most of the time they have, I don't know, Discord channels, or even they reply in the GitHub issues. You go there, ask them that, hey, if your code is still valid for this version of Minecraft. If the answer is yes, then it's okay. If they say no, it needs to be updated, then you should hold your updating. You shouldn't update your mod and the fabric and loader until every one of dependencies is updated. Thankfully, these dependencies update very fast. So the libgui is updated. The next one, Energy API. Energy API is provided by Team Reborn and is the core mechanics for having energy types inside your machines. So if your machines are using energy, then you need Energy API. It's equivalent of RF energy from Forge. Here is the link for the Maven. If we take a look at their Maven, we see that we were using 3.0.0. Now it's 4.0.0. This is the latest. If we go into it, we don't see any versions of Minecraft. When something like this happens, especially about energy, it means that it is usable. So the latest version is 4. We update it if we have a problem and we are sure that our code is okay. Chances are something changed and the provider of the API is not updated yet. So you should hold until it's updated. Okay, the next one is Tech Reborn Core and Tech Reborn. Now, these two are not being used in mod development process. However, if you are using Energy API, earliest stages of your mod development, you have to have some energy generator, some cables to transfer the energy, some way of testing your own machine to see that it is handling the energy correctly. This is why Tech Reborn Core and Tech Reborn Mod is being added to build Gradle. But if you take a look, they are mod implementation. They are not included, okay? This means that basically we are just using them at the playing time of our testing environment. So we are not including these two mods, injecting them inside our own project. No, we are just adding two mods inside the game to be used. So how can we find them? Of course, they come from CurseForge. If we take a look at Reborn Core, and you go into Files section. Now, sometimes they are nicely organized, but in this case, you see that 1.24 is the latest version. And inside the game versions, we don't have 1.26 yet. Here's a question. Will it work? We don't know. The only way to know is to add them and rebuild our Gradle and test the game. If the generator is providing the energy there, the cable is transferring it, then it's okay because it's just for testing the game. It's not for adding something to our mod. So how can we find the versions here? It provides game version, but not the proper versioning, because if you look, CourseForge is a little bit different on versioning. So if even it says Tech Reborn 5.10.4, it's not representing it. The way to find it is to click on the file, move down, and you see this course Maven snippet. Open it. This last section after the colon is the version. So we copy it for the core and for Tech Reborn. Make sure you get the proper versions. And that's it. Paul is a very interesting library. Basically, it lets you add custom abilities to your player. In my mod, I want to add an item that when the player has it or equip it, then it can flight and use the creative flight. Okay? So how can we use creative flight in our mod? Well, you can sit back and write the whole code yourself. But here's the funny thing. Lady Snake is actually provided creative flight as an ability for the player. So this is the release page of the poll. And here you see this version, 1.90. It updated to 120.2. We don't see 126, but the latest version is 1.90 and it didn't change yet. So we may be lucky and it works, or it may need to change something and it won't work. Considering that it's a piece of API library, it may work. We will see that when the time comes, but You should keep track of these release pages and the versions. And every now and then, if you see that, for example, it was 122 and now it's 20.6, then you should update it. The next one, a very important one, REI, or roughly enough items. REI is being added to mods for two different reasons. First of all, when you are adding items, machines, and stuff like that inside your game, when you are developing the mod, you want to make sure that you have easy access to them to put them inside the world and give it a test. You will create the world as creative. Of course, you will find them inside creative tabs, but REI is another alternative to find them easily, and then using U and R keywords, you can see the usages of them and the recipes for each one. This is one usage. So basically, you are just adding it like Tick Reborn mod just for playing with it. However, most of the time, you want to utilize REI and add compatibility to REI. For example, if you have a machine and that machine has an interface with a very complex crafting mechanic, you want to add some way inside REI so that when users are clicking on your machine, they see some entry inside REI. We will take a look at that later, and that is why most of the time you will add REI to your game development. REI, thankfully, is in Modern. And if you take a look, it has a NeoForge and a Fabric. Now, if we notice the versioning says 14.0 blah. And here we see that it is for Fabric 20.5/6. Now 5 and 6 are really close to each other. Basically, Minecraft had to debug something critical in .point 5 and updated it to .point 6, but it's not a game-changing and code-breaking, so most of the time they work with each other. So we just need to use this number, 15.0.728. I move it to the second monitor and I will change the number, 15.0.728. And that is REI for us. Close config. Now, if you are not going to add config to your mod, you may ask, why should I have closed config? Problem is that the latest versions of REI is depending on cloud config and architecture. Normally, I will never depend my own mod to architecture. We will come and talk about architecture in a few seconds. But because REI is depending on these two, we have to depend on them. So cloud config is a mod that lets you add some custom configs to Minecraft, like this one. You had seen that when you choose your mod, there is a config button, and you can click the config button and choose some configs. Cloud config is a way to handle this screen, and it makes it much more user-friendly to code and look at the result inside Minecraft. Thankfully, the versioning is simple again, 14.0.126. So 14.0.126. Let's talk about architecture. Architecture is a library, an API that lets you produce a mod that will run both on Forge and Fabric, and recently NeoForge. You don't have to sit back and re-import your mod, for example, from Fabric to Forge, from Fabric to NeoForge, or from NeoForge to Forge. Architecture is adding some different ways of letting you develop once and then port your mod to different loaders. I highly recommend against using architecture because when you think about Fabric, Fabric is not using events as much as Forge is using them. Instead, Fabric is using mixins, and on the other hand, Forge is not very friendly with mixins. If you want to write a code that handles both cases, well, there will be conflicts. Eventually, there will be conflicts. If you are developing a very complex mod, I highly recommend that you sit back, write your mod for one mod loader, finish it, and then start from scratch, use another mod loader, have another repository for it, and use the dedicated API from that mod loader, for example, NeoForge or Forge. But as I said, REI is using architecture for whatever reason. So I have to import it. And here it is, architecture Fabric again. This time the versioning is a little bit different. It's just showing up here, not down below. 12.0.27. So 12.0.27. The next one that I added inside dependencies is Terraform Wood. Now, Terraform Wood is only used when you want to deal with signs and boats, especially when you have your own custom type of wood. If you don't have a custom type of wood, then of course you don't need to add this. Or maybe, for example, you may have a rubber tree and all you care is for the rubber and a type of log to be used as decorative. But you don't want to make signs or boats from the log. You just drop the dependency there. But if you want to have them, Terraform Wood is a very nice API to use them. Now, again, I produced the link in the description of this video. You can go there. This is the page. And you see that after 9, we had some alpha, beta, and just recently, I think this is for today or 1 or 2 days before, they released the 10, not the beta, but the actual release. So we just need to update this to 10. I highly recommend against using alpha versions because they are full of bugs. Beta is somewhat okay, but if you see the release version, for sure, use the release version. The next one, Terra Blender. Terra Blender is a very nice API if you want to have custom biomes. It makes generating of a custom biome very easy, very fast. Again, it's a Modrint, and this is the version here. You see that 3503 Fabric. So you should put the version of the game 3.5.0.3. Now, Cryptonaut is a very interesting API when you want to add custom portals. Most of the time, it works hand in hand with Terra Blender because you generate your own custom biome and then put it inside a custom dimension. And for that dimension, now you want a custom portal. Cryptonaut is a custom portal API. And if you go to the GitHub page, you see this table and it says 1.20.6. This is the whole version here. So you should put 001-beta 65.5-1.20.6. The last one is Jade. Now, Jade is the port of Voila inside Fabric. You will add it to your mod for 2 reasons. One, using it inside game as any other mod, and add your own compatibility to Jade. Again, Jade is from CurseForge, but I don't know why this one is not sorted out properly. I mean, if I sort by name, to the easier way to find your version, of course, you can just look at them and you see that, hey, we have this 20.6 blah, but there is an easier way of finding your version, and that is this game version. So we want the 20.6, and it is provided. Unlike Tech Reborn, here we have the version, so we click on it, and we see that the only release is this. However, if you recall, this is 14.1.0, but I had seen 14.2.0 as the Fabric. So make sure that you are looking for the proper version. Click on it, Curse Maven, and you get this Fabric one. Make sure you are not using the Quilt one, the Fabric one, and here is the version. So Control V. Now we can save the whole Gradle properties, and finally we can hit this refresh Gradle, or if you don't see it, come here and do this refresh from here. This is equivalent of your very first time refreshing the Gradle, so it will build and it will go down, download the resources, and refresh your project. We will come back when it's finished. Now, if you ever happen to see this, unable to download something in offline mode, it means that you turned on the offline mode for Gradle. What is offline mode is that when you download the dependencies once, and for whatever reason you make sure that you don't need to download anything else, and for some reason you need to update your build Gradle by the cached download data, you turn on this offline mode. Now, the offline mode is here. And if you look, I opened the Gradle tab, and this is the interface that I'm seeing. Sometimes the look is different because I'm using the modern UI, but there is some button here that is turned on. You turn it off, and that is now in online mode. And if you launch the update, it should work. Keep in mind, if you are sure that from now on you don't need to do the offline mode again, the online mode, you can turn it on. Now, what else do we have here? It says plugin Fabric Room version 1.5 snapshot was not found in any block. And it is here, Fabric.Loom, that version. It means that we forgot something. From our template, open that build.gradle. I use Notepad++. And if we take a look at the top, it says Fabric Loom version 6, and you need to update it from here. Other than this, the rest should work. However, now it says it's not found in any of the following sources. So if you see something like this that says has not found in any of the following sources, make sure that first you updated this version from build.gradle from the template. And second, make sure that your internet connection is working and up and running. If you still see the problem, in very rare conditions, the Maven may be down. Give it a half an hour, and then refresh the Gradle. It should work, as you see. And that's it, basically. So it just downloaded few repositories. It will go down and download the rest. And then we have another issue. It says Minecraft requires Java 21, but Gradle is using 17. Now, this one is interesting. If you come back to your settings, tools, build execution, build tools, Gradle, you see that we are using 17. And we are not using anything above 17 because, well, apparently we just downloaded Java 17 and we are not having Java 21. But now Minecraft is using Java 21. There are two sections that you need to change that. One inside settings Gradle, and the other is your project, and here needs to be 21. Of course, we don't have 21. So basically, I have to go back, download Java 21, update my Java to 21, and then come back and refresh Gradle. So just like anytime else, we are on Windows, I'm x64, package is JDK, and now 21 long time support. Nice. So when I see LTS as long time support, it means that Minecraft will stick to this for a very long time. So I will download the MSI, put it somewhere on my hard drive. Normally I keep them somewhere close to each other. And this is where I keep almost everything related to this Minecraft. So it's just JDK blah, save it, download. Now, when the download is finished and you want to install it, be careful. If you have installed your JDK in a dedicated folder other than the default directory, you need to make sure that you are handling it there. So Java Home, Temurin version, as you see, 17. Now, how can I find this Java Home? If I go into the Start menu and search Environment, it gives me this. And inside Environment variables, we should see this Java Home. And you see that I installed it not on C drive, but on D drive. And it says Program Files, Eclipse, Adaptium, JDK 17. Now, I have two options. Either keep the 17 and install 21 in a separate folder, or uninstall the 17 and then install 21. I will keep 17 and I will install 21, but I will change the variable of Java Home to direct me to this 21. So basically, when I use Java Home, it should be 21 by default. You will see about that in a few seconds. So here is Temurin. Next, we checkmark this set Java Home variable. I had to go front and back to make this work, but you see that all I will do is change this C to D, and it is going to be JDK 21, blah, okay. Then I will hit next, hit install, and that's basically it. Hitting yes if a pop-up window jumps up, it will copy the new files. It's just basic installation. I just changed the default folder and turned on that Java variable, Java homepage basically. Now, if I go inside environments, you see that Java home is now JDK21. Perfect. I can come back inside settings, Gradle, Java home, and basically it's not showing up. I have to close the project and reopen it. We have to do it so that the project is reading the proper variables and stuff like that from environment and the rest. So now I see here detected SDK. Now it says dblah JDK21. Unfortunately, Java Home is still 17. If this is the case, after closing and opening your project, because we changed the Java Home environment path, we have to restart the Windows. However, we have this 21, so I will change to Tamarin 21 Eclipse blah, and now hit apply and OK. Going into the project structure, here it says 17, and now I have 21. So I will have to change to 21. Language version, I will go to 21, apply, OK. Now if I refresh the Gradle, it should work. As you see, it started downloading Yarn and anything related to Yarn, energy that we asked for version 4, and the rest of the API will be downloaded in few seconds. Downloaded cloud config, fabric loader, again, energy and cloud config stuff, fabric API, then stuff like related to fabric API. These are still related to fabric API. So Cotton MC is libgui, and as you see, the list goes on and on. Now remember, because we updated the Minecraft version, it may download few resources here and there, and then finally, when the downloading and updating the Gradle is finished, we have to gen sources and choose the sources again, because there are chances that some things changed inside the external library that you are using, so you want to see the proper sources for your version. Now, sometimes you see this error, this something. It says cannot remap method because it does not exist in any of the targets. And it is repeating itself. Don't worry, take a look at where it is happening. And to me, it looks like it's in mixins. Thankfully, we are in early stage of our mod development and we are not using any mixins. So it may work. It may not work. It depends totally on your mod and what you are doing. To me, it looks like it's an internal change of Fabric or something inside Fabric. And you see this, it says we can't find class 1886. It looks like Minecraft itself changed the name of 1886. So basically it says that, hey, you had something in your code and I'm trying to migrate that code to the new one, okay? I want to change your code to the new one, but I don't find this. You had it, you don't have it now. That's okay. You don't need to worry about these. If it's warning, if it's error, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is after all of these downloads and everything, you see a success. That's really critical. So don't worry about any of these messages. In Fabric, they are less. In Forge, you see lots of them. But don't worry about them. The only thing you care is at the end of all these downloads, you see a success. Now you see that lots of Minecraft stuff is being downloaded. When you're updating your project, the speed of this Gradle refresh totally depends on what sections on you are uploading. If you are just uploading an API, it will be really fast. But here, we are uploading to a minor Minecraft version. It means that Minecraft now has to go back and download all the code, all the resources. And as you see, downloading assets. So all the assets will be downloaded again, and it may take few minutes. Just like the very first time you are opening your project, it takes a longer time. When you are uploading your Minecraft version, it can take time. So don't worry about that. If you see this warning here, root project below resources configuration warning. Don't worry about that. It says that Fabric and its API cannot figure something as a resource, or it is really not important because when you are running the game, it will be solved by the mod loader. Basically, that's the whole point. And if you read the line, it says idea may fail to build project because IntelliJ IDEA was confused for finding a resources folder that is marked as resources. It doesn't matter. Basically, the mod loader is handling that part for you, so you don't have to worry about any of warnings that is related to IntelliJ IDEA. And this will happen all the time, so that's it. And as you see, it says build successful. We have to run gen sources, but wait until the tasks are finished. So you see that it's indexing, it's importing. Let them finish everything, and then we will generate our sources. So I see everything is finished. So gen sources, just double click it inside the project fabric tasks, and it will generate the sources for you, downloading the sources, decompiling it, deobfuscating it, and then put it inside external libraries. That's okay. You see that we have some errors here because the fabric item settings is not working. Don't worry, we will come back to this in the next step. Okay, generating the sources were successful. If you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on that bell so that when I publish a new video, you will get informed. Have fun, everyone!